And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 3,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. We also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics and current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher level of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically, and in addition we're running our newer number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on the selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations, QSA5, to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Victor Mike Oscar.
Station ending in Oscar, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Victor Mike Oscar. Name is Chuck, and the QTH is Cincinnati.
Roger, Chuck in Ohio. And what radio are you running today, Chuck?
Today I'm running the TS850 SAT.
TS850, Roger. And let's see here. If you would, why don't you give me well, I've got a pretty good copy, but why don't you give me a little bit about your antenna system specifically for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me look around and see if I can get a better copy.
Not a problem. The antenna. Copy. Not a problem. Inverted V, and the A is an inverted V feet. So it's not the best antenna I've ever had, but it's the only one I've got right now. Over.
Roger. Well, this sounds pretty good on my antenna and my 7300 down here around Louisville. It's a real good signal. Just curious if you might be interested in our setup procedure. Starts with you checking to be sure you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. TBW is called wide.
Well, we can check it out. I'm being a visually impaired ham here. I kind of hope that I've got it set up the right way. So we hope the signal is good, but you can certainly check it out. And by the way, I lived in Louisville for a number of years. Over there, right off of Gaudette. What was it? Gaudette Road, something like that. Over there in J-Town.
Yeah, Roger there. Well, we're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger. Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, when we first moved there, getting used to the inner loop and the outer loop took a couple months of, sometimes turning the wrong way and things like that, but actually enjoyed my time living in Louisville.
Oh, Roger. Well, I moved to Louisville when they were still taking tolls on those roads coming in from I-64, or I-65, Roger?
64, I-65, Roger. Okay, so yeah, you've been there a while. One of the difficulties I had living in Louisville, as they say, was that a lot of the roads that were built actually followed the old cow paths and stuff. So getting around the city with a guide dog was pretty tough work, just because lots of twists and turns and crazy street corners and stuff. It wasn't what they call a gridded city, that's for sure. But nevertheless, I did enjoy living there.
Oh, yes. I spent some time in Nashville as a young one, about 16. I lived in a boarding house in Nashville. And when I had the opportunity to move this way, I said, well, I really liked Nashville, so maybe Louisville will be somewhat similar. And it was, Roger.
Ah, very good. Visited Nashville. Lovely place to hang out for a few days and sample good food and good music. No complaints there. Like I say, Louisville turned out to be a pretty nice place to settle in, but the job took us west to Tucson, which was quite a change from Louisville to the desert. But at any rate, it was a good time living there. Roger, did you ever go up Mount Lemmon? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Went to the top. Unfortunately, when we visited the top of the mountain, it had been after, the periodic fires that had done their harm. So there was a lot of damage to the trees up there on the mountain at that time. And I don't know that things have improved a whole lot. They still seem to be having a lot of wildfires.
Oh, yes, sir. The thing about Mount Lemmon is, you're in snow, and down below it's 110 degrees. We had that, of course, when we went up to the mountain, we did it during the summer. On the valley floor, it was about 107. And near the top of the mountain, it had dropped down to 65 degrees. So, yeah, quite a change. Yes, sir. Well, it keeps you kind of off weather there, since it's not all the same. It's kind of like that way in Kentuckiana, as they say. If you don't like the weather, stick around for a minute. Absolutely. Yeah, there were times down in the valley in Tucson, we'd be 55, 60 degrees, and there'd be 3.5, 4 feet on Mount Lemmon. So, yeah, the change is pretty dramatic. Oh, roger that. Well, how do you find life in the Cincinnati area? Well, it's sort of funny. It started out in Cincinnati, moved to Louisville, then to Tucson, and back to Cincinnati, because the job that my wife had involved a number of transfers. So we started out here, and eventually they called her back to the home office, and so we ended up right back where we started from. Roger. Where did you move back to the same neighborhood that you were in Cincinnati? No, we lived in an area of Cincinnati called Wyoming, but when we came back, we settled down on the east side of Cincinnati, simply because, that's what we could afford. So it's the area in which we first resided, older homes, and the price had gone up to the point where they were just cost prohibitive.
So anyway, there's a bit of the rundown. By the way, your signal here is just terrific. Excellent signal. Thought I ought to tell you that. 5.9 plus. So obviously the short range skip is working pretty well.
Roger, Roger. Well, gosh, yes, I'm copying you on the Kentucky SDR, which is just across the river up there around Cincinnati, on the Kentucky side, right at Cincinnati. Roger. I have a good copy also on my local antenna. Cincinnati. Roger. I have a good copy also on my local antenna.
Yeah, must be over in Covington or.
Let's see, I did have. Come back and talk to me just for a minute. Let me see if you're still on my local antenna. Back and talk to me just for a minute. Let me see if you're still on my local antenna.
I was going to say, is the SDR located in Covington or Newport?
I'm not real sure. I just know it's on the Kentucky side. They call it Kentucky SDR around Cincinnati, and it is my go-to SDR. I don't want to talk about it too much. Every time I talk about one, suddenly I can't get into it anymore. Everybody and his brother's using it.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, I'll let you carry on, but I wanted to check in with you. Nice signal on the local antenna, and wanted to give you a shout and say good afternoon. So I'll let you carry on, see if there's anybody else out there that wants to check in. This is WA8VMO.
Roger, Chuck. Gosh, let me just say your radio is set up just beautiful. Your dynamic range is about 3 dB in transmit, which means that your average percent of peak modulation is between 80 and 85%, and the audio curve is just beautiful. I'm looking at it on a frequency meter, and you're just wall to wall beautiful. I wouldn't change a thing. Roger.
Well, it's been my experience that the TS-850 does a pretty good job, and yeah, we know it's older technology, but boy, I've had this radio for a long time, and it just keeps working.
Roger. Now, you're using a hand mic, Roger?
Yeah, you can tell. I do want to get a bass mic. It's on the Christmas list.
Well, I tell you, it sounds pretty nice. The only suggestion I would have is run it and pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk into it, but talk across it, Roger.
Roger, we can do that. I can make that change. Anyway, you carry on. Have a really good Friday afternoon. I hope you get some check-ins, and that you also have a very pleasant weekend, and we'll drop by again next Friday.
Yes, that'd be great, Chuck. Really would. So you have a good afternoon and a beautiful weekend, 73, and we'll catch you next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Hotel K04FH.
Foxtrot Hotel Station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Oh, yes, K04FH, Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Hotel, Don, you're Athens, Tennessee. You got a good sound radio everywhere you're at there, okay?
Roger. What's the name there?
Oh, okay, it's Don, Delta Oscar, November.
Roger, Don, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us.
Okay, about 30 feet in air, done about 100 watts, off 450 delta. When the lady sheds off, I'm going to have to get it up. It's right next to the, I don't know what it's getting out right now. It's right next to the woods here. Over.
Roger that. Well, let's see. I'm on my Kentucky SDR. What is your location, sir? My Kentucky SDR. What is your location, sir?
Okay, I'm just right outside of Athens, Tennessee. Over.
Roger, Don in Tennessee, and what's your radio? Roger, Don in Tennessee, and what's your radio?
It's a 450 Delta US, so 450 Delta US, and I'm running about I'm on the watch, over.
Oh, roger that, roger that. I wish I had a better copy on you. But is that an older radio or newer radio?
Is that an older radio or newer radio?
It's about 4 years old, around 4 years old, over.
Roger, roger. Well, you might check to see if you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, TBW. It's called wide 100 to 2900, roger?
Called wide 100 to 2900, roger?
Roger, I hit the end of the terminal set, sir. I believe it's, where it's supposed to be there. Hey, will the D104 work good on these kind of radios? I got one here, but I wasn't running high modulation. I'm thinking about putting the D104 hand mic, desk mic on it, over.
Do you have it wired up? You want to slip it in there and we'll listen to it?
Do you have it wired up? You want to slip it in there and we'll listen to it?
No, I hadn't got it wired up yet, because this D104's got 4 wires, this got 6 wires, and I got to go have somebody to change it over for me, over.
Roger, Don. Roger that. Well, we could go on with our setup procedure. Once we, just make a note about that transfer bandwidth. 100 to 2900 is ideal. That gives you just a slice of daylight before, you're into somebody else's conversation. 100 to 2900. Or the highest resolution you can get out of that transmitter. It might be 200 to 2700 or something like that. But you want the highest resolution that transmitter can deliver, because it all evolves around articulation, and you want to be as articulated as you possibly can be, so folks can understand what you're saying, even in adverse situations. Roger?
You're saying even in adverse situations, Roger?
Hey, Roger, I got low, medium, and high modulation. I have to go internal of it. It says and I think it's medium right now.
Repeat that again?
Repeat that again?
My modulation, if we turn it up, I got a hand mic here, but I got to go inside the radio. It's set on medium right now. I got low, medium, and high. I think it's on medium right now.
Right, you're talking about compression processor, Roger?
Right, you're talking about compression processor, Roger?
QSL.
Yeah, roger, roger. Well, let's see. So you're on medium on your compressor. That sounds about right. Now the next thing would be your ALC setup. That is, you bring your ALC meter out where you can see it, and you got your mic gain in the other hand. And as you say the word audio, you become a human test tone generator, and adjust your microphone for 2/3 on your ALC meter. Roger?
2/3 on your ALC meter. Roger?
QSL. I can't do it right now. I can't hardly see right now. I'm almost blind, but I will try to get that done on the ALC there. But thank you for Qso, and we'll get back at you another time.
Roger, Don, one more time on that call sign. I keep getting, I hit on static right on your call sign. Try it one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Static right on your call sign. Try it one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Okay. It's Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Hotel. KO4FH.
Kilo Oscar 4 FH, Roger.
Kilo Oscar 4 FH, Roger.
Kilo Oscar 4 Foxtrot Hotel, Roger.
Roger, Foxtrot Hotel. Well, 73 up that way around, down in Tennessee, actually. And you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you want to hear that radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger? 200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger?
QSL. What's your QTH right now, by the way?
We're on the sunny side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger. Sunny side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Roger. I don't know where that's at, sir. I've been for 10 years. I've been all the way up to Ham up on Yes Burn. I hadn't heard him on the phone. You can country up that way. You take here, K04FX.
Roger. Now, I know you might be visually impaired somewhat, but can you make adjustments on your mic level? I think you need to come up just a little bit.
I'll have to go on the inside there and turn it up, or let me just give me a minute. K04FX.
Roger, Don. I usually do that with setting up on the ALC, but I can see that your modulation level is could come up just a little bit. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and we're talking to Don down in Tennessee. Don, you know what we could do if you wanted to? Why don't you just take note about that, how to set up the ALC. That would be more accurate, and that is, go to your ALC. And if you would take notes, go to your ALC meter, and as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other words in a QSO, adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is reading 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3, whichever comes first, and so you've got notes on that. You can do it at your leisure, Roger.
QSL, I sure will, Darby. Appreciate K04FX.
Roger, Don. And like I say, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, Don. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Good evening, good afternoon to you, Jim. Number 3 Ocean, M300, Pennsylvania.
Roger, M300. Is there 3 O's back there or just 2? M300. Is there 3 O's back there or just 2?
Just 2. 1, 2. M300.
Roger. And what's the name there? Roger. What's the name there?
One name is Bob, B-O-B, Bob. 1 O in Bob. Yeah, 2 O's in the call. Roger?
Roger that. Let me catch up on my paperwork. And let's see, Bob, where'd you say you were? Catch up on my paperwork. And let's see, Bob, where'd you say you were?
I'm 30 miles south of Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania. We worked before about 2 or 3 months ago. I was on a different radio, and I'm on a Yaesu right now, FT891, a little small radio with a high-ohm microphone. And I think I got everything kind of fine-tuned for it. I hope it sounded okay to you.
Yes, sir. Now, what radio is that you're running?
And that's a little FT Yaesu, FT891.
All right, we could check a couple of things if you'd like. Maybe we can get just a skosh better on it. Verify that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. It's called wide. It lets your transmitter perform at its maximum capabilities and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So that's TBW, wide TBW, and let's see, that'll be, the best way to run that radio, Roger.
The best way to run that radio, Roger. Roger, and that's exactly where it is, Jim.
Roger that. Then to our compressor limiter, our compressor processor, and we want to set that on a 3. It's a token amount. It was not anything that you'd probably hear on the air, but it helps us get our final numbers. If you're running hotter than that, just remember that a 3 and a 6 are just about the same as far as working actually on the word, except 6 gives you suck up between the words, which doesn't help anything. So we just recommend running a 3 on the compressor processor, right?
Running a 3 on the compressor processor, right? Roger. I have it at a 10, okay? And I'll tell you why. It goes to 100, okay? It goes to 100, and I tried it at 30, and I tried it at 10, and I'm at 10 right now on the processor.
Well, no doubt about it. Right at this point, you're 3 dB dynamic range. But let's go to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test tone generator and adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Oh, your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger? That's what I have done. That's what you're listening to right now, Jim.
Yes, sir. It looks good. You are right there at that 3 dB mark. You have to have a little bit of life. I mean, you could get louder with a 2 dB dynamic range and really loud with a 1 dB dynamic range, and absolutely incomprehensible at a 0 dB dynamic range. So we found that a 3 dB dynamic range gives you enough life to be understood very well and still be very, very loud.
To be understood very well and still be very, very loud. That is correct, Jim. So I think I have everything the way I would want it, and hope you would agree. I'm not trying to work any big DX with it or nothing. I just want it to sound very, very good, Roger.
Yes, sir. Well, your bottom end is pretty rolled off there, probably at about 250 cycles. You have a beautiful top end, so you are right there for a QSO or DX, whichever or contest, whichever comes first. You're just allowed. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and it's be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger. Okay, Jim, real good. Yes, I'll give a listen tomorrow. And, hey, I want to thank you for doing what you're doing. You help a lot of fellows. I know you get some criticism sometime, but, hey, just brush that off, you know that. And just want to thank you for all you do for the guys that do check in and need your help. Hey, take care, my friend. We'll continue another time. And 300, thank you.
Roger, Bob. One other question now. Is that a hand mic or a desk mic?
Roger, Bob. One other question now. Is that a hand mic or a desk mic? This is a Heil microphone that I'm using as a hand mic. It has the number 5 cartridge in it, Roger.
Yes, sir. Well, the best way to work that mic is pull it to your corner of your lips and talk across it. Don't talk directly into it. You know, all hand mics tend to be very bad as far as plosives and all kinds of transients. So just pull it to the corner of your lips. Actually, touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. It would be the best way, Roger.
Touch the corner of your lips and talk across it would be the best way, Roger.
Well, this is a desk mic that's being used as a hand mic, so there is no corner on it whatsoever. The element is mounted straight up in the head unit.
Oh, yes, sir. But it doesn't matter about the element. I don't care. It can be a carbon microphone or, you know, anything. If it's in the shell, like a hand mic, if it looks like a hand mic, quacks like a hand mic, it's a hand mic. And just pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it, Roger.
Pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it, Roger.
Okay, I'm talking across it right now. Talking across it in comparison to this right here that I'm talking straight into it, and now I'm on to the side of it. This is N300.
Both sound really good, but I'll guarantee you that if you talk on the side of it, pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it, you'll have less transients and plosives and just general mouth noise. Roger?
Plosives and just general mouth noise, Roger.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Being shaped the way it is, being round, kind of oxymoron, but yeah, I'm talking off the side of it now. So, okay, Jim. Hey, I thank you, my friend. N300.
Roger. Now, that last transmission, I couldn't tell if you were, you know, that you were on a hand mic. It sounded just like a desk mic. Roger?
You were on a hand mic. It sounded just like a desk mic. Roger?
Okay, good deal. I'm glad it's working then. I got everything kind of fine-tuned, so I'm glad.
Roger there, Bob. And if you want to hear your audio again, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Okay, will do. I'll be there listening tomorrow. Take care, my friend. N300.
Roger. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Like that. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo 4, Juliet, India, Papa.
Juliet, India, Papa. Roger. What's the name there?
Juliet, India, Papa. Roger. What's the name there? 10-4 Kilo 4 Juliet, India, Papa. Thanks for taking me there, Jim. Just checking out the audio on my FTDX10.
Roger, and I didn't catch the name. What's the name?
Roger, and I didn't catch the name. What's the name? My name is Cliff. Charlie Lima, India, Foxtrot.
Roger, Cliff, and whereabouts are you located?
Roger, Cliff, and whereabouts are you located? I'm located just northwest of Charlotte.
Okay, that'd be North Carolina, Roger.
Okay, that'd be North Carolina, Roger. Roger.
Alrighty, Cliff. Well, if you're interested in a little setup, starts with you checking to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, TVW, wide 100 to 2900, Roger.
TVW, wide 100 to 2900, Roger. Let's see, I think I am...
You probably are, but there have been instances where folks have bought new radios, and they come for whatever reason not in that wide mode. And also, after coming back from repairs, a lot of radios come back that are not left in that wide transmit bandwidth. Roger?
They're not left in that wide transmit bandwidth. Roger? Roger, Roger. I've got it set at 300, 2700, which my friend who has the same radio had recommended, and we were talking to each other and sounded pretty good, so I'm just not sure.
Roger. So if you have 100 to 2900, 100 to 2900, and you can fill in the blanks on those radios, Roger?
2900, and you can fill in the blanks on those radios, Roger? Roger, Roger. I'll just set it to 100, 2900.
Great, great. Then to your processor compressor on a 3, it's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it serves our purpose as far as, winding up with the numbers that we're looking for, Roger. So compressor processor on at a 3, Roger.
So compressor processor on at a 3, Roger. Okay, processor is on this radio it's at 50, which puts me at a ASC of about 7.5.
Okay, so that's a 10 out of let's see, that's 30 out of 100, or gosh, I'm having a brain lapse here. 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger? Roger, Roger. It's just bouncing around, and the meter has white and then a blue section, and it's bouncing around. Just never quite peaks up into the blue.
Roger. Now I'm talking about the input level to the compressor. I'm not talking about the ALC meter yet. Just talking about the compressor. Just setting that input level. I'm sure it's got an input processor compressor level. We want that set at 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger? Okay, let me see if I can find that level here. This radio doesn't have anything. Okay. Yeah, it's set on 4.
Is that a 4 out of 10 or 4 out of 100?
Is that a 4 out of 10 or 4 out of 100? 4 out of 10.
Okay, so pull that back to 3. A 3 and a 6 are about the same as far as actually working on the road, except they're actually working on the word. But the difference is that a 6 will give you suck up in the back between words, and that doesn't do anybody any good. So we recommend a 3 on that compressor processor, Roger.
A 3 on that compressor processor, Roger. Okay, let's see, I have set it back to a 3, so I'm not, like I said, it doesn't show me much difference anywhere, but I can't hear it.
Okay, so you're on the 3 now?
Okay, so you're on the 3 now? I'm on the 3 now.
Roger. Okay, now let's go to your ALC meter with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, you become a human test generator as you strengthen out that first part of that word audio, and you don't really jump on it. Just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. Roger?
ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. Roger? Audio. It's now running at about, right at, I guess, 2/3. Not quite half.
Roger. Well, you want to be on the right side of half, Roger. That's 2/3, just on the right side of half as you set it up. And I've spent months trying to find the right word to use as a test tone to set that level. So the best one is audio, and just adjust that mic level until your AOC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Is running 2/3. Roger? Roger, Roger. Here we go again. Audio, 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 audio. That's what it says at, where it's running right at 2/3. It doesn't have any numbers on it, but like I said, just guessing at how the meter is shaped. There's sort of a curve shape. And it's starts 0 on the left, and I guess 100 on the right. And it's at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Roger. To the right of center, and below too much, Roger.
To the right of center and below too much, Roger. Yes, that's about where it is. It's actually. Yeah, right above, not quite straight up and down, and it's like this is that spot, which is to the low side on this meter.
All right. Do you know how to get to your tone control or your equalizer board?
Or your tone control or your equalizer board? I do.
All righty, if we could go there.
If we could go there. All right, I am ready.
All right, so you should have a P set of controls. You should have a Paul set of controls since you're in the processor mode, Roger?
Since you're in the processor mode, Roger? Roger, I have parametric and P-parametric, and I think that's all of them.
Okay, so we want to be in that P parametric. And is that a 3-band or an 8-band, do you know?
Parametric. And is that a 3-band or an 8-band, do you know? Let's see. It has 1, 2, 3. It's a 3 equalizer band.
Okay, so the base equalizer we want to set at 200. Can you adjust the frequency? Can you make it 200 cycles on the bottom on the base equalizer? 200 cycles
on the bottom on the base equalizer. 200 cycles. Okay, on P parametric 1, equalizer 1, it is 200.
Okay, that is the base equalizer number 1.
Okay, that is the base equalizer number 1. As far as I know, that's what it is. Let's just see, parametric equalizer 1, 200 hertz.
Excellent. Now, does it have a width control? Can you adjust the width of that equalizer?
Does it have a width control? Can you adjust the width of that equalizer? Okay, the bandwidth is at 2.
Okay, make that a 4. Width of 4. Width of 4. 200 cycles, width of 4, Roger?
Width of 4. 200 cycles, width of 4, Roger? Okay, the width is now 4.
Excellent. Now, let's go to your mid-range EQ, and we want that to be flat. Neither cut nor boost, Roger, and it doesn't matter how wide it is since it's neither cutting or boosting, Roger, just flat mid-range equalizer, Roger.
Flat mid-range equalizer, Roger. Okay, which equalizer are we talking about? This one has several.
The one in the middle, the mid-range control.
The one in the middle, the mid-range control. That'd be P-parametric 2.
Yes, sir. Parametric 2.
parametric 2. Okay, it's at 900.
Okay, that's the frequency now, but we just want it flat, so it doesn't matter about the frequency of it. We just want it neither cut nor boost, Roger.
About the frequency of it, we just want it neither cut nor boost, Roger. Okay, let's see. I don't think it says anything about boost. Frequency level and width.
Okay, it's your frequency level, and there should be a midpoint there, which is neither cut nor boost. It's flat. It should be a flat position on the attenuation of that frequency mid-range.
Of that frequency mid-range. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is there something on a meter somewhere?
Right on that where it says mid-range. I think you said it was 900 cycles. That one, just make it flat. As far as attenuation or boost, just make it flat, Roger. Neither one, just flat.
Just make it flat, Roger. Neither one. Okay, flat meaning 0 or flat meaning mid-range of the selections or which?
It should be marked plus or minus 0, Roger.
It should be marked plus or minus 0, Roger. Your nomenclature confuse everybody.
Repeat that?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. This one only has hertz. I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about here.
Okay, does it have an off? Does it have an off switch on that mid-range control?
Does it have an off switch on that mid-range control? It does.
Yes, sir. Okay, just turn it off.
Yes, sir. Okay, just turn it off. Okay, it is off.
Okay, now let's go up to the treble EQ. That's number 3. And the frequency that we're looking for is 2.7 kilohertz. So you will adjust your frequency on that treble number 3 control to 2.7 kilohertz, Roger.
Number 3 control to 2.7 kilohertz, Roger. Roger, it's set up to 2700 hertz.
Yes, sir. Now it also has a width, and we want to set that width on 4. Width of 4, Roger.
We want to set that width on 4. Width of 4, Roger. Okay, I have it set at 4.
Okay, now we want to boost that treble control plus 4 dB, 4 clicks hotter than what it is. So we want to add 4 dB hotter control to that treble equalizer. Plus 4 from where you are, Roger.
Equalizer. Plus 4 from where you are, Roger. Okay, I'm not sure bandwidth or level. Which are we talking about?
Level, we want to add 4 clicks from where you are, Roger. Plus 4 from where you are, treble EQ.
Roger. Plus 4 from where you are, treble EQ. All right, it only goes up to 10, and it was on 8, so I can only go up 2.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now, let's go back down to your bass frequency. Bass frequency, what is the reading? Is that like 0 level or plus 2, minus 2? Or I'll tell you what, just we want to roll 3 clicks off the bottom end, off the bass control, minus 3.
Off the bottom end, off the bass control, minus 3. Mine at the bottom end, let's see, minus 20 is where it goes down to, and it goes up to plus 10.
Okay, so where is it at the moment?
Okay, so where is it at the moment? It's at minus 2 at the moment.
Okay, take it to minus 6. take that control to -6, Roger.
-6. Take that control to -6, Roger.
And why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 15 seconds, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
And let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger. Okay.
So just go ahead and tell me about your antenna system for about 15 seconds.
Okay. ZS6 became oriented basically generally just barely northeast to southwest, just 50 degrees from east to west.
Okay, Cliff, I've got you on my local antenna right now, and that's 7300 with a dipole, and so I can hear full range spectrum. So roll 3 more clicks off of your baseline. 3 more clicks from where you are. Roll off.
Okay, so they go from a -6 to a -8. Okay.
Alrighty, let me hear you. Tell me about what you like about your radio.
Well, what I like about it is the first one and only one I've ever had for HF as far as in the base station. I've got an 891, but I like the adjustability of this radio and the fact that I can control it basically from my computer, so I don't have to go onto everything on the radio, which is why it takes me a little while for some of the deeper menus.
Okay, Roger. Take 2 more clicks off the baseline, 2 more clicks off the baseline, and be sure that you're in that number 4 width. Number 4 width at 200 cycles. Number 4 width at 200 cycles, and then 2 clicks additional roll.
All right, it's on 200 hertz frequency control. The level is -8 and the bandwidth is 4.
Okay, now I want you to back off, Mike, about 3 inches from where you are. Just out of curiosity, back off about 3 inches from where you are.
Okay, I'm using a high-oil ProSet 6, and it is angled away at about almost a 90-degree angle from my mouth.
Yes, sir. Okay. What we want to do there is run that mic out as far as it'll go, straight out, and then at the last minute, take a 90. We want it to get away from your mouth as far as we can, straight out, and then a 90 at the last minute. Roger?
Okay, I think this is what you're talking about. How's that?
Yes, sir. Now, let's go back to our ALC and reset our level now, because we've made quite a bit of adjustment in our audio. So we're back to our ALC, and with mic gain in hand, and as we say the word audio and human test tone, we adjust the mic level until our ALC is running 2/3. Roger?
Roger, here we go. Audio, 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 audio. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm running just past midway.
Roger, Roger. Now, how many? Did you have any treble EQ left on that radio? Are you EQ'd out on your treble, or do you have maybe another click of treble?
Let's see. I'll need to go back to that one. Hold on 1 second. Okay, another click. Which direction? We've got it cut off on frequency. Level is 3 and the bandwidth 2.
Okay, on treble we should be maximum push. On the treble control, number 3 equalizer, we should be maximum, and also make sure that your equalizer is on. Make sure that that equalizer is on, and then full push on your treble EQ equalizer, Roger.
Okay, let's see. Equalizer 2, you told me to set it off if I could, and it is. Do you want me to do something different with that?
Roger, and you should be on the P-setter controls, Roger.
Roger, roger.
Okay, let's drop another couple of clicks on your bass EQ, minus another couple of clicks from where you are.
On the level, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir, on the level control. On the bass, on your level. Bass level control, -2 from where you were.
Okay, -2 from where I was. I was on -8. I'm now on -10.
I'm not really getting the shift I want there. Are you sure you're on the P set of controls, Roger?
P parametric equalizer 1.
Okay, now that sounded right. So you want to be careful about how you address the microphone. That last transmission was just perfect, Roger.
Okay, I've got it, like I said, not far off from where I normally had it, but I just did it as you said, and that, I don't know if that's doing any better or not. I can maybe move it a little further out from directly in front of my mouth.
Yeah, I would go, just as far as you can go on that boom mic. That's what I was saying. We want to get that boom mic out in front of your voice just as far as we can, Roger, and then at the last minute take a 90.
Okay, that's as far away as I can get it from my mouth, and just a little angled back toward me, and I think that should be about right.
All righty, and we're fully expanded on our treble EQ push to a maximum, Roger?
Roger, roger.
All right. Well, I would run it just like that. The thing is, if you get it closer, you have a thing called proximity effect, and that is says that as you get closer to a microphone, you have a bass buildup. So when you're working that mic out further away from you, your EQ is balanced better than when you work it close, Roger.
Roger, roger. I'm looking at all my different dials. ALC looks good. Compression, as far as I can tell, is good. My oscilloscope looks good. So I think I'm good.
Roger, maybe one more click off on the bottom end. One more click minus on the bottom end, Roger. Still a width of 4, but 200 cycles, and one more attenuation click on the bass line.
Okay, I took one more click off P parametric 1.
And yes. I think that's it, man. I think it sounds really good. It's not muffly. It's very good. You have a nice top in there. Your dynamic range looks to be roughly 3 dB, which is 80 to 85%. And why don't you tell me again about your antenna system?
Okay, like you said, I have a ZS6VKW, which is a modified G5RV. It's about 35 foot up in the air, as far as I can get it and get away with it. And it is 92 feet long in total length and oriented just slightly north of east and south of west.
Roger. And you're positive that you're on 200 cycles on your baseline, Roger. Your bass EQ we're adjusted at 200 cycles. There is no equalizer below that. You only have a 3-band treble, mid-range, and bass, Roger.
Roger.
Well, let's see. Did we discuss you've got that mic as far back away from you as you can, Roger?
Roger.
It's still hanging on to a lot of bottom end. I don't know why. Are you sure when you're taking that 90 that you're taking that 90 with the element bent towards your mouth, not the other way?
That is correct. It is actually. Let's see. Okay, that may be a little better right there. A little better angle.
Yeah, I'm talking about a 90 degrees, so it's, but instead of a curve around, just put that mic boom straight out and then a hard 90 right at the end of it, Roger.
Okay, it's bent as far as it will allow itself to bend.
Yes, sir. I think that's pretty good. You're out of top end EQ, Roger.
Sorry, what was the question?
You're out of top end EQ. You're out of, you can't make that any more treble boost. You're out of range on that, right?
That is correct.
All right. Well, let's bump another one off the bottom end. I'm going to get you absolutely perfect. So minus one more click, bass EQ.
Okay, you said on the EQ2?
No, EQ2 is the mids, and they should be flat. EQ2 should be flat, neither cut nor boost. I'm talking about the bottom end, 200 cycles.
Okay, 200, and right now it's at minus 11. So you want me to go which way?
Minus 12.
Okay, it's at minus 12.
I think I would take that. It sounds pretty well balanced, and so then you have, room to plus or minus there without any problem. If you get a bunch of bottom end, there's a lot that can happen to your signal between when you transmit and somebody else receives it. Mainly, like different places that it's reflected back to Earth, two different time zones or two different places in the stratosphere, and if they come back out of phase, they will cancel each other. They start canceling, and it starts from the top end of the audio spectrum and works its way down to the bottom. So the thing is, if you have a heavy bottom end EQ, and it may be balanced as it looks in the book or sounds locally or whatever, but in the field, if you lose your top end because of EQ phasing, you become Mr. Mumble. So for that, we don't really espouse a bunch of bottom end, mainly mids and upper side for articulation. Roger.
Okay, like I said, I can't hear how it sounds out to somebody else, but like I said, if you say it sounds good, then I guess I have to take your word for it until somebody tells me different.
Roger, Cliff. Well, listen, if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and you can hear what we've been doing there. So, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. It'll be cut number 1 of 3,200 recordings. So, Cliff, you have a good afternoon, and if you get a chance, jump back with us next Friday. We'd love to have you.
All right, I'll see if I can do that. Sometimes I'm home this time of day, and sometimes I'm not.
Yes, sir, and remember, work that microphone just like you're working it, Roger. That's the best way. It solves a lot of problems, particularly like mouth noises and stuff like that. But also, as what we were talking about as far as bass buildup there. If you pull it close to you, you're going to be Mr. Bassman. So I would leave it just like that, Roger.
Roger. I'll try to keep everything as is. Of course, when I hang my headset up, it sometimes bumps that mic a little bit, but I'll try to make sure it gets back in position.
Yes, sir. And I would leave my ALC meter out where I can see it as I'm talking to my friends and neighbors around the world. And you know where the sweet spot is there, to the right of mid-scale on your ALC. And I would just develop a relationship with that ALC meter as I am talking. And I might need to adjust my mic level just a little bit, plus or minus, to keep me in the sweet spot of that ALC meter mostly, Roger.
Roger, and like I said, I've got everything where I know just where it is, and we shall try to keep it right there as much as possible.
Roger, sounds good, bud. 73 to you. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Whiskey 4 Echo X-Ray.
Echo X-Ray, come back with your call sign phonetically slowly.
Kilo Whiskey 4 Echo X-Ray.
Roger, Echo X-Ray. What's the name there?
The name is Gordon.
Roger, Gordon, and whereabouts are you?
Okay, I'm in Gainesville, Georgia, about 40 miles north of Atlanta.
Roger that. What radio is that?
This is the Anon 7000D.
Roger, it sounds really nice. Why don't you tell me about your antenna system for about 10 or 15 seconds, and let me look around and see if I might find a better path.
Okay, we're running an...
I'd find a better path.
We're running an 80-meter loop at about 50 elevation. Amplifier generating ballpark 1,050 watts. And, of course, it's an omnidirectional antenna, so we have no beam capabilities at all.
Roger, Gordon. Well, gosh, I got about 15 over, 20 over on my local antenna, so you're just really doing a beautiful job, Roger.
Oh, Roger that. I appreciate the compliments there. The audio chain is an RE320 Electro-Voice microphone, about 3 inches away from my mouth. I am running a shield over it, so hopefully we don't have too many plosives, so to speak. And I've got a bandwidth set at, 2,910 cycles at the moment.
All right. Boy, sounds pretty good. I would recommend 100 to 2,900, though. If you could, would like to check that out on your bandwidth wide, 100 to 2,900.
Yeah, I run 90 to 3K, so I should be staying out of the neighbors because of the pure signal correction. It should be pretty flat.
Roger. Well, just the way you were a moment ago, then I was looking at the frequency analyzer, and you were down to 100 cycles there, maybe activity down to 25 cycles actually, and up to 3K or thereabouts.
Okay, you say I was going down to 25 cycles?
Yeah, it looked like you had activity below 100 cycles. My frequency analyzer, I've got 3 white marks on my analyzer. The first one to the left is 100 cycles. The first one to the right is 1 KC. Then there's a black space, and there's another white mark, and that's 4 KC on that second mark. So... and I was seeing, as I was looking at it, I was seeing some activity below 100 cycles, Roger?
Oh, Roger that. Yeah, it should be cutting off pretty hard right at 100 cycles.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely on the way out at that, but and it really sounds nice and full, Roger.
Oh, okay, Roger. Yeah, it should be pretty flat, I think. I am running an equalizer. A little bit of compression, just ever so slightly, 2 dB on the Fetus software.
Yes, sir. We usually suggest 3, but we just want a third of the compression possibilities. A 3 and a 6 are the same, except the 6 gives you a suck up after the word, and we don't want to do that. So a 3 does just fine, Roger.
Roger that. Yeah. Does it seem like it's dropping out any? I can move. I just now moved that to 3 dB, if that makes a difference.
Oh, gosh, nice. I really like that. Particularly like at the end of the word, where you might be softening up just a little bit at the end of the word. It's got that bottom end, just beautiful, Roger.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not talking directly into the mic. I mean, I'm at about I'm not at a 90-degree angle. I'm probably at a 75-degree angle to the microphone.
Roger, it's perfect like you are, but if you've got a foam windscreen on it, you really can work it any way. The only thing would happen would be you would have a bass buildup the closer you got to it. So the way you're working it right now is just keeps you right balanced, Roger.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I chose the Electro Voice mic, because their proximity effect is reduced over some of the others, like the Howells and Shures. Yeah,
I would run it just like that. Your average percent of pitch modulation is around 80 to 85%. That means you're looking at about a 3 dB dynamic range, which is just perfect.
Okay, well, the audio level sound okay? I'm not running quite up to 0 dB on my mic gain. I could crank it up a little bit, but I am getting just a little bit of leveler compensation.
Roger, I can see your ALC meter working there, your limiter. I can see that working, and where you are is about maybe 3 dB or 3.5 dB, somewhere in there. But I wouldn't change a thing. That's just beautiful.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You've got a good signal coming into Gainesville, Georgia, as well, and I really do appreciate the work that you're doing to help all of the hams out. It's very well welcomed, especially for us that have to listen to others.
Roger. Well, trying to help out as best we can, and if you want to hear your audio, beautiful audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Oh, real fine. I do appreciate that greatly, and I will check that out. I appreciate it again, and I hope you have just a most excellent weekend coming up. We've got some beautiful weather to enjoy here in Georgia, at least this afternoon. So have a good one, and I'll look forward to maybe talking to you next week. KW4EX.
Roger, Gordon. Now, one more time on your call sign, just out of curiosity.
Kilo Whiskey 4 Echo X-Ray KW4EX.
Roger, that's what I got. Very good, sir. 73, and you have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 9.
Gordon, down 4, please.
Okay.
Other station, come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically. Other station calling, this is KC9VKV. Come back with your call sign, again, slowly, phonetically.
November 9er, Hotel Tango Foxtrot.
November 9er. Give me the rest of that, November 9.
Hotel Tango Foxtrot.
Okay, November 9. Boy, we're going to have to work on you. And you're pretty much up against the wall. Kind of like a spaceship out in Mars somewhere. We got to give you a little more space in your audio signal. So, are you familiar? Well, let's see. Let me go this way. What's the name there?
The name's Bob, Bravo, Oscar, Bravo.
Okay, Bob, and what's your location?
I'm in Greenfield, Indiana, just east of Indianapolis.
All right, and what radio is that?
This is an FT991A.
Okay, so, first, be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandwidth. It's 100 to 2900. I don't know if you know about that, but we want it in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth, TBW, wide. Roger?
Roger, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so you're flat up against the wall, audio-wise. I mean, you have a dynamic range of about half a dB. So what we want to do is kind of pull that range down. I'm not sure where the problem is right now, but I have a sequential setup that we'll find it. So from there, we suggest going to your compressor processor and put that on a 3. It's a token amount, something you'll never hear on the air, but we need it for our numbers that we hit at the end. So compressor processor on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Okay, it's at 40 now.
Excellent. Okay, now go to your ALC. With your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, I want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio, and don't stress it, just say it like you'd say any other word in the QSO.
Audio, roger, roger, audio, 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 audio.
Okay, are you mid-scale on your ALC meter?
Roger, roger.
Still looks fairly compressed. I would dump the compressor processor.
Okay, the processor's off. Audio, audio.
Okay, you might be misreading your ALC meter. We want to go to the mid-scale of that ALC meter. What is your mic level control right at the moment?
The mic gain is at 48.
Okay, take that down to about 20.
Okay, here's 20 audio.
Okay, now I want you to back up about 2 inches off the mic from where you were, as you 2 inches further back than where you were addressing it. Roger?
Roger, roger, here's 2 inches audio.
Okay, come back 3 inches.
Audio.
All right, tell me, well, let's go on. Are you familiar with your equalizer, your tone control board?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you're in, well, let's see. Turn your compressor back on and let me hear you just a little bit more.
Test 1, 2, 3. Audio.
All right. So let's see. On your equalizer, what kind of equalizer do you have there? Not nice to tune up on an active frequency.
It's parametric equalizer.
Not nice to tune up on an active frequency, sir. The frequency is in use. Boy, we got some dorks. And there's the biggest dork in the world right there, Bob. Somebody that just tunes up on an active frequency. Wouldn't you consider that to be a dork?
Well, we'll assume he just can't hear.
Well, I guess so. Okay, so let's see here. You have a 3-band EQ, is that a Roger?
Roger, roger.
Okay, so we want EQ, and you're on the P set of controls, Roger?
That's affirmative.
Get out of here, dork. Get out of here.
Dork, get out of here.
Let's see. Bob, come back and tell me about your antenna system, and let me see if I can find a better path.
Come back and tell me about your antenna system, and let me see if I can find a better path. Okay. Central Indiana, we've got and goes to about 50 feet, and it's a 104-inch wire.
Okay, so we want that mid-range to be flat, plus or minus 0. Mid-range, that's equalizer 2, and you want to be sure that your equalizer is on, and then we want to look at equalizer 2 as being off. Roger?
Okay, so we want equalizer 2 off.
Correct. And the equalizer overall is on, Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so let's go up to equalizer 3, which is your treble control. We want the if you have an adjustable frequency capability, we want that at 2700 kilohertz. 2700 kilohertz, Roger? 2.7 kilohertz.
2700, we're there.
Okay, you have a width control. We want that on a 4.
Width at 4.
Okay, now we want to go 4 clicks hotter than where you are on your treble control.
Okay, plus 4.
All right, so then we want to go down to the baseline. Set that at 200, width of 4. 200, width of 4. Roger?
Roger, 200 width at 4 and 0 level.
Yes, sir, great. So we want to go minus 6 on that base control, minus 6 on the base control width of 4, Roger?
Minus 6 width of 4.
Okay, minus 10 width of 4.
Minus 10 width of 4.
Okay, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Well, I like it because these are very adjustable. I like the waterfall. I like the waterfall in it, and just turned out to be an all-around good radio. Got it from a friend that's now a silent key.
Roger that. Now, I am hearing just a little bit of shack noise, a little bit of echo, and I'm pondering if we want to try to do something about that or not. Can you hear that just where you are? Is your room pretty live?
Just where you are? Is your room pretty live?
Repeat that, please.
It's very live. I am in a concrete basement.
Okay, so the only way to take care of that is to increase your signal-to-noise ratio, which means, does that microphone that you're using have a full windscreen?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you can work a pretty tight mic. That would probably be the answer to getting rid of that room echo, Roger?
Okay, I've got it a little bit tighter. It's a boom mic on a headset, and it's right at the corner of my mouth now.
Okay, so I would take a little bit more off the bottom end now, maybe 3 more clicks of bass boost. We want to minus 3 from where you are.
Okay, here's minus 13, bandwidth of 4, frequency is 200.
Yeah, I like that. And so tell me about the your antenna system again.
Okay, the antenna system's an infed half wave, starts at about 20 feet, ends at about 50 feet. In the backyard, it's pretty invisible.
Roger. Let's see here. And tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
The radio is waterfall feature on it, and the fact that it's not minuscule, it's a decent size, but it's not huge.
Roger, Roger. Well, I went around the horn there. I have a chevron on the right-hand side of my screen, and it tells you where I am listening from. Pardon the grammar. It highlights which SDR I'm on or the local receiver. And so you can hear that and you can see that if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Well, thanks for all your help. I've always known I needed lots of help on this audio, and I just stumbled into the basement and found you this afternoon, so I really appreciate it. N9HTF.
Roger, Roger. Now, you might go back to your ALC. You know, anytime you make major equalization changes or new microphones or stuff, always go back to your ALC meter and double-check your level. So, back to the ALC, as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in the QSO, and adjust your mic level until it's 2/3, or half to 2/3.
Okay, audio, 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 audio.
That look about right?
I think we're about there.
Yes, sir. Well, I would run it like that. You might, let's see what happens if you go off, pull back off mic about 2 inches and let me hear you.
Audio, audio.
Okay, tell me about something of your choice for about 10 or 15 seconds.
Okay, well, it's a rainy day here in central Indiana. Not as bad as yesterday, but it's been kind of miserable. We've had such amazing weather for the last few weeks. It's finally back into the 40s and 50s and damp and dreary.
Okay, what's your mic level? What does your mic level say?
The mic gain's at 20, 20.
All right, dump your compressor. Well, shoot, you can't do that because we're set up EQ-wise on our P controls. Okay, so the compressor's on at a 3 out of 30, or 3 out of 10, or 30 out of 100. Roger.
We ended up with the processor up at about 58.
Well, gosh, let's pull that down to about a 3. That processor down to about a 30, I guess. It would be, since you're 0 to 100, pull that down to a 30.
Okay, we're back down to 30 now. Audio.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I got a little blower noise. Is that something in the room?
It is. It's about 15 foot away from me.
Oh. Okay, it's not anything to really be concerned about. It's just in there, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
All right, Bob, I think we got it, bud. Gosh, and like I say, if you want to hear it, go to YouTube and do the call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Okay, well, thanks again for your help, and I look forward to seeing that video to hear the differences. We really appreciate it. 73 N9HTF.
Roger, Bob. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And with all that being said, we got to get out of here. Since 3:30, we've been broadcasting, and if you participated and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and I'll have it be cut number 1 out of 3200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. tomorrow. So, with all that being said, we got to get out of here and return the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV clear.
Good job, Jim.
Thank you.